I think that would be more cool if you could actually see that my feet were in the air because that was all camera tricks, and I will not tell you how long I spent doing that. Let's do the same thing we just did with the enemy data, but this time let's try it for civilians. Let's get our handy dandy stopwatch going there. And what do I want to do? First I want to look at it. Civilian. Wow. Oh, that's because I'm still doing residual plots from the last video. Get rid of those. Okay, show me histogram. Alright, a lot of civilian deaths before the 50 range, not too much higher. 150 seems to be where it caps out. I've seen a lot of final project datasets that have higher than 150, but it looks like mine wasn't one of those. Okay, good. Tell me what you can about that average. The average is about 31 deaths, and we can have some pretty good confidence about that. Alright, I'm going to steal the code that I used to look at these graphs for the enemy deaths because I thought it was clever code. And there's what it looks like with stock. Now you may notice these high outliers, which kind of suggests maybe civilian needs to be logged. And that probably won't be a surprise to you. If I'm going to make you do this analysis twice, you can bet that there's going to be a big change to the second one. Let's pretend we didn't notice that right away. Okay, it'd be hard to say I wouldn't have noticed this. Yeah, every single one of these has those high outliers in the upper side. I'm not seeing any patterns. Oh, where's my notepad here? Okay, here's what we had for enemy. Oh, you know what? I still have those collinear, but the fact that we're looking at a different response doesn't change that. But here I'm going to say spies is curved. Now I don't really know if it's curved because of the log in civilian, or if it'll stay curved, but I'm just going to make a little note so that I can come back and look at that later. I'm trying to make patterns out of that. I don't know what I see there. Oh, that's got to be something. Where's my notepad? Here. Personnel is something. Don't know what yet. Temperature. Wow. Napalm. Now look at those streaks. You see those streaks? That's a big clue. I've got something going on here. Napalm has discrete streaks. Stakes. Yeah, it's almost lunchtime here. I don't know what time you're watching the video, but I should probably stop and pause the video, take a... Okay, well that's the last one. Alright, now, there were a lot of clues that maybe a log could be needed. I could run a model not with a log of civilian, and I would again see all those same problems. But I just want to show you real quick what happens if I do all those plots with the log in there. Because suddenly I'm betting I see stuff a lot more clearly. Wait, you gotta reset my eye. Look at that. Okay, these streaks we've talked about before. That's an artifact of the rounding when you log small numbers. So those streaks aren't going to concern me. And I was really hoping for more hints here because if the video turns out to have not much in this data set, it's going to be disappointing. Ooh, look at spies. What did I say for spies? Okay, it doesn't look curved now, but it certainly seems to have a fan shape. So spies is curved, spies is importance. And that's kind of all I know right now. Yeah, I still don't see what to do there. Personnel. Was personnel the one? Personnel is something. And now it doesn't really look like something anymore. Temperature. Napalm still does look like something. And I think because I have experience in this, I know what it is, but let's skip that for just a minute. And while the video was paused, I shrunk my plots down so that I could see the names so I could start making me a fit, and I crashed my R. So let's restart this. Following files have unsaved changes. Oh boy. So I guess when you're planning on doing your final project, you'd better plan for that sort of thing to happen. Let's see if I can get back where I was. Yes, I was doing this and I wanted to clear my plots first so I don't crash R. Now show me the list of variables. Okay, so here is my fit, and I went ahead and copied my code that drew the pictures. Hang on, I better make this bigger. I will crash it if I don't. And now that I have made my picture bigger, suddenly my stuff here doesn't look so good. And I forgot that one. Okay, Could not find the function fit. What did I... Oh, it's an ln. Fit gets ln. Okay, here is my first plot. I'm noticing there's a dot clear up here. That looks suspicious, but it doesn't look like I can fix that dot based on the value of stock, because it's just somewhere in the middle of stock. I'm going to look and see if he fits somewhere weird for another one. Low end of firepower, middle of payload, weapons, bombs. Who, by the way, which one did I write on my little list here? Here we go. Spies is important. Okay, so I want to keep an eye on spies, personnel, and napalm. Where was I? Missiles. First aid. Here's spies. Ooh, something is going on there. I'm pretty sure that is going to be interacting. See how there's this bow tie shape going on? It looks like there's a line on top of a line on top of a line, and that's where we got that bow tie shape from. So, I don't know what it interacts with yet. No, I don't think that's the same as a bow tie. There's a lot of data on the ends, and not as much data in the middle, but that's different than saying there's a bow tie there. Boy, do I see something there? It's hard to decide. Oh, well, there we go. Interacting with napalm. Now, because of multicollinearity, there could be others that would work just as well as napalm, except we're at the end of the list. And napalm personnel. Personnel? What? Yeah, see, I still don't know what to do about that guy. So I'm sitting here staring at these interactions, trying to make sure that I understand them. It occurs to me spies has these discrete values, which I noticed in napalm it had discrete streaks. So I'm willing to bet that if I went back to the plot for napalm and I colored it according to spies, that I'm going to see the interaction visually. Look at that, see what I mean? There's a line on top of a line on top of a line, and it's based on the different levels of spies. Oh good, I have an interaction in this video, because that would have been really sad if I had to restart with a whole new dataset. And I think that interaction is really the only thing here that I have to talk about. So let's do spies times napalm. And let's go back through. Remember, every time you do this, you got to go look at all the residuals, because it might be that this will help you see something. Is that curving? I can't tell if my eyes are doing weird things. Stop curving. If it is, that'd be a quadratic curve that I'm seeing. But I wish... So where's something I can put up to the screen? Okay, I can't tell if that's my eyes or not. It looks like it's curving to me. Still have some high variability for the low terrorism group, but unless I can figure out how to fix that, I don't know what I'm going to do. Firepower has these high-end outliers. Now, in the last data set, I tried logging firepower. Is that what I ended up with? Did I have log firepower? No, firepower was completely gone out of my enemy model. But maybe this time, so let's log firepower. Firepower. Here, payload. Don't see anything there. Don't really see anything there. Bombs. I remember logging bombs in the last one, and I remember it didn't help. So chances are it won't help this way. It could be bombs just have some really high outliers. It's not that there's a log relationship. Especially since I'm not seeing any curve here. It makes me worry that I might be fooling my own self. Whoa! Whoa! Hang on. Okay, so we have fixed the interaction because we don't have a bow tie, but there's still some dramatic effect going on here. What am I going to do? Spies squared? I mean, is it squared or is it cubic? It almost looks like it curves down and then back up. I wonder if there's something cubic going on there. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. We might have to pause the video. I still feel like there's something going on here, and I don't know what. How about we worry about that after we fix spies? Jiminy Christmas. And look at temperature. Why do I see these curves? I can't tell if it's just me because I'm hungry and I'm making shapes out of things. It kind of looks like a green bean. There's napalm. Napalm now is looking much better. we do see kind of a fan shape. And why is that? My guess is it's a spies issue thing, and if we can fix spies, we might get that to look better. And IG88. Okay. So this is what I call the shotgun approach. I'm going to make spies squared and cubed. I'm going to make personnel squared and cubed because those are still kind of looking funny. Spies and napalm. I'm wondering whether I should try spies squared. You know what? We'll do that later. Log firepower, log bombs. Let's log personnel. Shotgun. Let's see if we hit something and make this look any better. Is that better? I don't know. It's tough to say. Okay, well, logging firepower, I don't know, maybe that looks a little, no, not enough. Not enough to say it was worth logging. Bombs, I would say it really hasn't made any difference. Missiles wasn't a problem before. Here's spies. Is that looking a little better? There was like this curving stuff, and now all I see is a fan shape. It'd be nice to be able to fix that fan shape, but that may not be possible. It's possible that for low levels of spies, there's a lot of consistency in war. But once you have a whole lot of spies, things go crazy and you never know where it's going to go. So I may not be able to fix that one. Media still looks good. So at this point, I guess I really have two concerns. Spies has got that horn shape, and I wish I could get rid of that. And then personnel, I'm seeing a hamburger here. It doesn't look like random scatter. There's something going on here. I tried squaring, I tried cubing, I tried logging, and none of that seems to have helped it. So I'm not sure at this moment what to do with it. Napalm also has a horn shape. I was hoping maybe if I fixed spies that would fix napalm, but now napalm and spies are about the same. And everything else seems to be looking good. So I really only have concerns about three variables here: spies, napalm, and personnel. Now, I was considering doing a spy squared times napalm or a spies times napalm squared, but the problem is if I go back and look at these variables here, it's not curving, there's just a fan shape. So if I bend and warp the axes to try to have a quadratic go through these, I don't know that I can see that I'm going to be able to fix that. But I kind of would like personnel to look better. So I'm going to try an interaction personnel with spies. Because both spies and napalm are being funny, maybe they could give personnel some really weird interactions. And let's see. Well, should we go through all of them? I'd say let's just look at spies. Yeah, no real change there. Let's look at napalm. No real change there. But personnel's the one I've been attacking. Boy, no real change there either. So just to fish around and hope I found something, I changed the color on personnel to color it based on all these different things. And I sat here and changed all the variables, went through it. What I'm hoping for is that I would see all the high values one color, or that I would see a specific color streaking through. And as I went through all these, I don't really see much here. No. Okay, so what have I done? I see something I'm not happy with in the residuals. I've tried curved regression, I've tried interactions, I've tried logs. Those are the tools that we've learned in this class. Whatever is making personnel funny, it's going to be beyond what we have in the class. I think I've got the best model that I can using the tools that we've used. Let's take a look at our overall fit. The reason the overall fit is important after you've looked at the individual variables is this is kind of combining all the patterns together. And some patterns, if they were just random luck, will get evened out and hidden in the noise. Sometimes if there's a small pattern in all of them you didn't see, this will help it pop out. And what do I see? I see the horn shape. I'll bet you I can tell you what that is. That's spies. And okay, that QQ plot could look better. Horn-shaped residuals will do this to the ends. In the middle though, so where there's a bulk of the data, it is looking decently good for normality. Yeah, okay, so the scale location says there's still a horn shape, there's still some curving going on there that you could look for. And we have one or two big outliers, probably where there were a whole lot of civilian deaths, something unusual. Is it unusual enough to make me go hunt them down? Well, and apparently the answer is yes, because I'm a sucker for punishment. But even looking these guys up, there isn't any dramatic reason why I might think that they're in error. I mean, they're strange values like only 2 civilian deaths, but they aren't enough to say that there's a problem. I think they're genuine data points. So my next step is going to be, let's cut down on all the junk I put in. And it looks like there's an awful lot of stuff that can be taken out. There's a really big p-value right here, spies times personnel, and that's a nasty term. After that, I think, look at bombs. Bombs has a huge p-value. Now, I should have log bombs somewhere. Well, that's also big, so I might end up taking them both out. But let's start with bombs. And I'm tempted to go for personnel times napalm because the p-value is still big. But my memory says, because I looked at this a second ago, okay, weapons. See how big that p-value is? Let's get rid of that. And now I'm going to have to make a judgment call. This personnel napalm still has a big p-value. There are some others that are bigger, but they're not as complicated. Payload and missiles. I'm going to go with personnel times napalm just because that's certainly not trivial. And I would worry if I were taking out all the interactions because I think the enemy's model didn't have one. But I do still have one interaction that's clearly significant, so that'll be nice for me to talk about in the video. And now that I take it out, I realize that's the last term of weird stuff I was throwing in to try to see if I could get personnel to look better, and the answer was no, there wasn't anything you could do about that. Next, I'm going to go with, oh, look at that. How about payload? Followed by first aid. Some of these more complicated terms are less than 10% on their p-value. There's one, IG88. Well, or firepower. Well, let's start with IG88 and firepower after that, which just as I was about to delete it, I noticed I have log firepower. I want to just see, log firepower, that one is significant. So it looks like firepower does need to be in the model. It just needs to be logged and not the normal firepower. Now missiles is the last one that's over 10%. And if I wanted, I could increase my alpha so that I keep some of these in there, and that is a little tempting, but I have several versions of personnel. To have personnel cubed and log personnel at the same time, theoretically that's just weird. So it looks like log personnel has the biggest p-value. It's the one that's doing the least out of all the different things trying to attack personnel. And I was looking at the p-values to figure out what to take out next, and I got all excited. Oh, I can take out intercept. No, you actually can. Let's not do that. There's lots of reasons why leaving the intercept in doesn't hurt and it can make things better. These are all really tiny. Okay, personnel cubed is only barely significant. And I would be totally justified in saying it's bigger than my 0.05, and so I'm going to take out personnel cubes. I'm going to choose to leave it in simply because when I looked at the graph for personnel, I thought I saw a cubic. That's why I was putting it in. And personnel was one of those ones I was really trying to attack and never did really like what happened. So I'm going to choose to leave it in. Even though it's barely over the 0.05, I want to predict what's happening due to personnel very well, so I'm going to have personnel stay in there. So I'm going to say this is my model. It's a good model. Now, this standard error of 0.02 is misleading. It's e to the 0.02 because we're talking log scale here. But I think I have a good model for civilian. I've already done the model for enemy. In the next video, let's try explaining what some of these effects are.